going back to your state political days, stamp duty has been on Dom Perrottet's agenda for quite some time. He has announced a pathway out of that, an opt-in, opt-out system. What do you think of it?
I think it's a great reform. I mean, look, I also read some of the criticism today and thought...
Not much of it,
though, well, James Morrow had a crack. He said, look, here comes the poll tax. They're just going to raise it in future years. And I guess this is the argument or criticism he could be subject to. But we know that stamp duty is a brake on activity.
Yep.
We know that when John Howard introduced the GST, this thing and payroll tax was set to go.
Exactly.
And that was 20 years ago. And so I think it's a welcome reform. And it's just good to have a politician have a bit of courage in this space. He's used the cover of the pandemic, really, because it costs $11 billion over 4 years to do it.
Yeah.
But this is an environment where you can do that. I think long-term it's quite important.
Yeah, I think it's a really good reform, but he's still pursuing privatisation, which you'd argue with money so cheap, you know, why are you doing that? But the other thing here is that there's no cuts. So Labor at the federal level is hard to get traction during a pandemic. Also, you can see that at a state level as well, because, you know, it's hard to criticise because in many ways this is a big spending Labor budget.
Yeah, and that's been a feature of Gladys Berejiklian's premiership, by the way. I mean, she had all those giveaways before the last state election, you might recall. So she's not afraid about electoral bribes like the restaurant vouchers. I think I'm worried about the debt. I think, you know, I saw there was a big deal over the sale of poles and wires, $30 billion. This is $104 billion in debt. I know how hard that is to pay back, but I guess the argument is the federal government's doing it, so the states have to do some heavy lifting as well.
Yeah, they're not wasting a crisis, are they?
No.